The number one question that I get, how do I do it, is the foundation of everything that I do. As long as you're using your time wisely, it will change your whole life. What is up, you guys? Welcome back. If you're new here, my name is Stephanie. I share everything lifestyle and fitness. I am so excited for today's video because this is something I am so passionate about. It is the foundation of everything that I do, and so I never thought about sharing it with you guys or teaching it because I didn't realize how unique everyone's process can be, or everyone's journey can be. And so I don't know, I never thought about sharing it until I just started thinking, like, the number one question that I get is, how do I do it? How do I wake up at 5 a.m., 5:30 a.m., go work out every morning, Monday through Sunday, 7 days a week? I have been waking up at 5:30 a.m. every single day for the past, I want to say, like 2 months. And then prior to that, for maybe like the last 3 months or 4 months, Monday to Friday. It's honestly been the best thing I could ever do. And so today we're going to be talking about the routine that gets me to do this. How can you come up with your own routine and your own habits to have the life that you want, to have the life that you've always dreamt about? Everybody wants to be that person that like wakes up early. That is always the number one thing that successful people do. It's always like they have this 4 a.m. routine or 5 a.m. routine, and they do this and they read and they do that. And honestly, I can't say that that alone is going to bring you billions of dollars, but it is just so rewarding. As long as you're using your time wisely, it will change your whole life, your whole world. Today I'm going to be sharing with you guys how to create your own routine and habits. Quick background story about me and how I got into this. I've always had a morning routine. Even when I didn't realize that it was called a morning routine, I've always been a morning person. I just operate best in the morning than at nighttime. And so for me, I've always liked to go to the gym before I go to work, which means up at 4:30 a.m., gym by 5 a.m., and then, you know, like if I have to be at work by 7 or whatever it was. So that has always been my thing. And I've also, along with that, go to sleep early. And so I don't function well late at night. And even now, I kind of struggle with my night routine, but my morning routine, I got that down packed. When I moved to Canada, my whole world was flipped upside down. I didn't have a job. I spent a whole year without working. New country, no friends, no family, new language. It's freezing over there. Everything changed. It was just Brian and I. And Brian was working a lot, so I spent a lot of time alone. And I spent a lot of time just learning about myself. I've always kind of been like a private person. I never really like reached out to people, expressed to them how I felt. I felt like I didn't have a purpose. It just felt like it was always on me to get myself out of these things. I tried it all. And I noticed that a lot of people think that you have to change everything about your life whenever you're lost or you're confused. When we just hate where we are, we feel we have to change everything. And that is actually not true. All you need is a couple of habits. You add a couple of habits and some new routines into your system, and you'll slowly find that everything kind of just like, you find a rhythm, everything kind of falls into place. That first year was just a learning experience for me. I learned so much about myself, and I'm very grateful for it because of that, I am better today. And so I'm not saying I figured it out right away, like even after that first year. No, like it took me 2 years or like 3 years to kind of find a groove of things, because things are constantly changing for me. I was working part-time, then I was working full-time, and then COVID hit, and it was just like a crazy year, and I just felt so unstable. And routines help you find some sort of stability in life when everything else feels chaotic, a routine keeps you grounded. And just this is why I love routine so much, because everything else can be a mess, and as long as you have a good routine, whether it's for morning, night, afternoon, or all three, at least you have that, right? Everything else you'll figure it out, but you've already done something good for yourself in that day. Fast forward to when I got to Texas. Once again, you know, I started a new job. I was now working from home, so I didn't even have to commute anywhere. And new city, just like everything was new. I have no family out here, and so once again I was thrown back into the mix. I was struggling again, once again, with a routine, but this time I knew what I needed, and I knew that I just needed to find a routine that worked for me. So I started trial and error. And at first I created this whole routine of like how I wanted my life to be, and I was like this is exactly, and I would compare it to my life in Canada. But when you are starting, the key to creating a routine, you have to start small. You have to start small. The reason why you want to start small is because you don't want to overwhelm yourself with a bunch of new things. You need to get adjusted to one thing first, and then you can add another thing, and then you can add another thing, and that's how you build a routine. When I started working here, I found myself, you know, I started work at 8, but I had no commute, and so I was just like, I really found myself rolling out of bed straight into work in my PJs. Then after work, I was just like unmotivated, and it was just hard, right? I was just like, oh no, I knew something was missing. I was like, all right, why don't I just start small? Okay, I know that I can function best early in the morning. So why don't I just put my alarm for, let's say, 6 a.m. And then obviously I do want to work out, but for the first couple of weeks, my goal was to just get out of bed. 6 a.m. I would just get out of bed. I would either stretch, or like, you know, I would be on my phone, or I would just like pick up around the house, but I would be out of bed. And then a couple of weeks of me doing that, I was like, okay, this feels good. Then I was like, all right, I think I'm gonna just get out of bed and start working out. I find that habit stacking is extremely important. And so what I did with my routine is waking up at 6, and then I was doing whatever I was doing. I was grabbing my phone or whatever. Right after I got out of bed, I would just put my workout clothes on. It was just automatically, it's what I did. And then I walked to the garage. Now, I didn't like say I'm gonna do this full-on workout, even though I did try, but I would at least make it in there. And I did that for a couple of weeks. My garage gym was always my dream, but I also missed being around people doing the same things that I was doing. And it was just hard. So like, I found myself in the gym, and then it's like, how do I bring myself to then do a whole workout by myself? So I started thinking about ways, like, how do I get myself to do this workout? And that's when I started using the Peloton app. And then I started doing like treadmill workouts. And I felt like I was in there because I didn't have to think about anything else. I just had to follow whatever they were doing. That worked for me. I kid you not, I did that like for 3 months straight. And it was the best thing ever. I loved it. I felt so good. And starting the morning with movement before anything else felt like a win to me. So I would get up early, put my gym clothes on, and straight into my workout. That became my routine. You don't need 5 million things into your routine. Even if you have like 1 or 2 things, 1 or 2 or 3 habits in a routine, that is enough. You don't have to like bombard yourself with a bunch of habits and stuff in order for you to feel like, oh, this is a good routine. No, my routine now is a lot different than when I first started. Now I'm able to add more things, and now I wake up earlier and I do more stuff, but that's because I had mastered those other habits that I had. And I did that for a couple of months, for 3 or 4 months, just doing that, making sure that I had that down packed before adding another habit or something else into that. I am here to tell you that knowledge is power, And the people that you surround yourself with is so important in what you end up doing with your life and who you become and the habits that you create. Something that was so helpful for me was podcasts. Like listening to self-help podcasts, things that make me a better person. And just, I would like go on walks and just listen to it and then implement, keyword, don't just listen to it. Try new things out, like implement it into your life. We all talk about like eating healthy, but we never talk about what mentally we consume. If you're having a hard time coming up or sticking with some of your routines, maybe it's because you're not having the influence around you. Listen to some podcasts, just, you know, just so you can get into the groove of things and just be a little more motivated into like coming up with your own routine. So my blueprint to creating your routine is, first, write down the things that you have to do. For example, you have to wake up at 6 o'clock because you have to be at work by 7 o'clock, or you have to be up at 6 o'clock to get the kids ready for school, commute. You have to leave the house by this time to commute to work. This is something you don't have a choice in the matter. Second, write down your priority. What are the things that you would like to do, right? So if you want to start working out, or if you want to start waking up early, or if you're a night person, or if you want to start staying up later to work on other things, you can also do that. It's not just about morning routines. Like, night routines are important too. And I would just stick with maybe like 3 to 4 things. That's it. And then number 3, write down all the things that are stopping you. What gets in the way of you doing these things? So if you want to wake up early, but you can never get out of bed because you're tired, and you're tired because you went to sleep late, and you went to sleep late because you were scrolling on Instagram. You want to eat healthy, but you're constantly eating junk food. Number 4, what is one small thing that you can add on to your already non-negotiable routine? One of those things of the priority, you're gonna move on to that. And then, so for example, if one of the things is just waking up early, or one of the things is working out, when can you fit that in? And then you're going to think about what usually stops you from doing that. Be conscious of this. And now late at night, when you find yourself doing that, just think about what you have to do early in the morning and force yourself to stop scrolling. None of this is possible without sacrifices. It's not possible. You have to sacrifice your bad habits for your new good habits. Those are basically the steps that I have to creating a routine with new habits or adding new habits. I would love to do a whole other video on like hobbies or finding your passion, because I was watching all these people with their routines and waking up early, and it was always like, all right, I would love to do that, but I don't have anything to do at that time, so why am I gonna wake up early? Like, what are you doing at that time? And I would love to make a separate video about that, but only if you guys are even interested in it. We'll start with this one. I hope that this video was helpful to you guys, because I feel so strongly about this. Like, all of this will change your life if you just take a moment to look at what you're doing now and think about ways to change that. I hope that you guys enjoyed this video. Please let me know in the comments below any thoughts that you guys have or any questions. I will love to talk to you guys. Don't forget to click that like button if you guys enjoyed the video, and I will see you guys next time. Bye.